Hey, Bougie Gang. Happy Sunday. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Hi, Kay. Hi, Victoria. Jackson Tabasco. What's going on? Hi, Violet Girl. What's going on? Keonce Shay. Let's see. Keonce. I know it's Victor DeVale. So did you guys notice? I guess they took everybody's like special name away. I don't know. It's weird. All it is at sign addresses. So forgive me. Of course, I know your avatars, but I know Vic to the Veil because I knew it was Fleur de Lis. Why I don't know, but I knew that already. Um, some of you guys, I guess they call them handles. Some of you guys' handles are the same, so it's easy, like Soul Power, K Blueberry. Some are not. So forgive me if I'm not giving what we knew, as your name. It's still now showing. It's still maybe not showing me user. It's not showing usernames or it's just showing handles. Didn't that what they called it before when they first let us get handles? You didn't notice, baby. I'm noticed. It's bothering because I don't. Some of you guys' names are your handles, but the ones that are not, they're not. I do think it makes it easier for when you want to at somebody in a chat to see, to be able to at them in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. You got if you know, one of those, right? Anyway, okay, let me drop the call in. Hold on. Oh god, I clicked share screen. Um okay, it would help if I press the right button. Okay. Hi Tall Diva, what's going on? Um okay. Hopefully that's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Ooh, ooh. Oh my. Okay. All right, let me pin it. Hi Bible lady. Hey boo. So I emailed I hope I hope they respond. Let me see if I got an answer. The son of the people that own the house. We're the landscaper through the party. I sent him an email at his professional address. I hope he responds. I really would like to ask some questions. I want to know, are they he said he was so mad. He said it was criminal and civil, and I was just like, "Yes." I just want to know, like, are the parents going to get a restraining order? Is he crazy? How long has he been around? Like, are you concerned? Where were y'all at when this really creepy landscaper was out here messing around at your parents' nice property? What was going on? Was he supposed to be house sitting or something? Like, this was so weird to me. I have so many questions. I have so many questions. I'll let you guys know. Oh, I pinned the wrong thing. There it is. Thank you, Petty Patty. Petty Patty, I did pin Petty Patty's comment, which was if you want to be a member, which is awesome. Let me pin the call in though, because okay. Um, I have so many questions. I have so many questions. Honestly, I would just if I would just like to get some of the answers for these questions because I have a lot. I'm just trying to figure out because I was in a situation once upon a time where my parents, I mean, they were in their, I'm gonna say late 70s. They were mid to late 70s, early 80s. My dad, um, but we checked in on them frequently. So I'm not saying that this guy was not checking in on his parents. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, right? um but we were in a situation where my dad had Alzheimer's, and he had some dementia was setting in. There was some dementia noticeable, but we had to check in because even though we had caregivers there, they had 24-hour help. um we still had to check in because, girl, if you don't, they're like writing checks, giving away money, giving away, like, oh, take the couch, you can have it, you know what I mean? Like, we're like, it's, if you've ever dealt with a parent who is suffering from memory loss, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. It's no need to even explain because it gets very interesting. um and then also parents who want to be independent that can't be independent. um and you got to check in. It's a very interesting time. If you haven't gone through it yet, eventually you will. And it's okay because to have parents that have reached that age, it's an honor and a blessing for you to be able to do what they did for you when you were a baby and when you couldn't get yourself to first grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not comparable, but it's our time to take care. You know what I mean? It's our time to take care of our parents. So you'll get there one day. And it's very interesting. Hello. Hello.
Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes. Hey,
Oh,
how are you?
how are you? I
I'm
am
good. Happy Sunday.
happy Sunday. I'm currently going through that with my grandfather. Like the fight, he's experiencing memory loss, and it's just getting worse and worse. Just he's he's already given his debit card out twice.
Mhm.
Like just this past couple of days, he had one of the the overseas scammers call,
Mhm.
and do you want to win $100 gift card? And he said, "Oh, it sounded so good." So they charged him like 300 and something dollars for what he does not know. He doesn't remember. I mean, it's a I'm with you. It's a very struggle. I don't know about this situation,
Right, cuz
but
these people could be absolutely like 60, in their 60s, early 70s, in a nice RV traveling across the country. They could be in Rome
right.
somewhere. They could be, we don't know how, because the son looked like he could be somewhere in his 30s or 40s. So we really don't know, which could put them in their 60s, 70s, and really just fine, and maybe just helping someone or just thinking, oh, I'm going to give this guy a contract and see what he does with it. And just unbeknownst to them, being
He's
taken advantage of, not
he's a lunatic.
for, yeah, he does seem cuckoo. Like, he's definitely got a screw loose.
I,
So I don't know that it's an age thing. It could just be a proximity thing, and it could just be knowing that your parents are fine. But even if your parents are fine, sometimes you still need to dip in there because they might not be up on the latest con. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're very vital and,
exactly. That that's
no
what
issues at all.
I had to explain to my grandfather. I'm like, listen, and I work for a bank, and so I see it so frequently. I'm like, Papa, you have to like, this is what they're looking for, people who are just open and honest, and think that everyone else is still open and honest, and
Right.
you cannot just be as trustworthy. I mean, even now with just gardeners, you kind of have to do a background check on them to ensure that you're leaving your I would be surprised if these people gave him a key If he needed to use the bathroom, they probably were just looking like, oh, okay, he's a young
Even if
black
it was a
man.
key to the guest house, because it looked like there was a separate structure on the property, like maybe a cabana or a guest house or even just a large garage. God only knows. I mean, there could be a Ferrari in the garage. You know what I mean? Like whatever he had access to, he can't be trusted.
No, when you were playing the video, and then I went to go look at him talk later on. I'm like,
Girl,
I'm like, wait,
baby.
he's God forgive me, he's like short bus. He's not all there. Like he is given like you've experienced some issues, or you have you're kind of like mentally challenged, because if you think that you're going to still build a reputation, and even when the son said he's destroyed his possible future relationships for that neighborhood, and those are $1 million houses,
Right.
and you think that people are going to let you in. He said, well, I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, well, keep incriminating yourself then, because now the prosecution has shows that you have zero, you don't feel sorry, you don't feel bad. People stole stuff from these people's house, things were broken, and the younger generation, they don't really care. They're just like, oh well, this is a big house, they can buy it again.
Or just they've got it. What do they
Yeah,
care? It's
that
okay. It was empty. It was like it's all kind of like, well, they've got it. They're not home. They're not using it. They'll never know.
right.
They'll never know. I'll just return it back in the same. The fact that I was just thinking that they went light on the charges because when he gave false information to the police officer, did we not see Michael Jackson Bolanos? He's in jail in Detroit for like a year and a half on some fictitious information. He was acquitted of the murder charge, but initially he lied to the lawyer. If you don't remember who Michael Jackson
I
Bolanos
remember
is,
him, yeah.
look him up, guys. He had on like a three-piece suit every day, looking real dapper type dude. He was breaking into cars the night a lady was murdered, and he was kind of wrong place, wrong time. He was acquitted, but he ended up getting sentenced to some time on the lying to a police officer. So why didn't they charge him for the false information to a police officer? They charged him with trespassing, delinquency of a minor, obtaining property, all types of stuff, but they did not. I feel like they missed a couple things that they still could have got him for,
Well,
which I'm sure they can still, they can still do it. But
well, his dumbass went on TV and
oh
said
my
that
god,
he'll continue to keep doing it if he doesn't think he did anything wrong. So I guarantee you, there's more charges to come.
this
There,
is part of his business plan.
girl.
Can you
Look,
believe it?
listen, he is a, I mean, he's a nice looking man. Don't get me wrong. I would think, okay, he's he's trying to, do his right thing. And I looked at his Instagram, and he's doing like what a lot of people do, advertise their services and show their work and their progress. But then you have the audacity to essentially enter in someone's home, invite 300 people, and to throw a party for your son because you want to show these kids like a what their future could be, and then you get arrested for it. Well, no, I'm sorry, he lied at first. He did a double lie, right? He
Hmm.
said, um, was there or were you charging? They asked him, were you charging? No, we weren't charging, but yeah, we charged. It's like
Girl, he did a nest. Someone in the comments said he did a nesto. A mess. Yeah, he was double talking. It was like, we didn't charge, but yeah, we had to charge for security. So
but
maybe he was trying to say like we didn't charge. Like that was a lie because there was a post which I need to look at my screenshots. I don't know. I may have taken a screenshot of it, but there was a post where they had a structure for the party, like VIP, general admission.
for some
What would you
17
get
year
a
olds,
girl?
I just think that kids nowadays, they it's just a little too much entitlement, and like these delusions of grandeur. You're selling them on a dream, and the fact that he's raising his son to like, it's okay to break in someone's house. It's okay to use someone else's property. These are good people, and I'm sure that I'll continue my relationship with them.
Hmm.
And as far as the son, speaking on behalf of his parents, maybe they are out of town. You know, they just, or they're so hurt that they don't want to speak up about it. Or maybe they're embarrassed, but the son is not embarrassed. The son is like,
Yeah, the son's
you're
like,
the help.
no.
You're the help. We hired you to do the help. We looked out for you as a young black brother, and I think that's what the problem with
Or
the
even how
parents
about
thing.
we just looked out for you and gave you this like we just you had a zero turn. We needed this big ass yard done, and that's it, and that's all. You know what I mean? I don't know that it was on, like, we don't know for sure that it was on some, we're looking out for you as a black man. It could have just been, we're looking out for you as you're trying to start a business. Maybe they felt like, let's give this guy a shot. He's an ex-con, which is something else that I found out
Oh,
is
is
that
he?
he spent 7 years in jail. One of
No.
y'all sent me a video. I could play. I'll play a little bit of it. It's not super duper exciting. He did an interview with somebody before this, and he is a whole entire ex-con, y'all. A mess.
Okay. This is my last thing. Like, okay, sir, you've been given a second chance. You've been released. These people are entrusting you to be in and around their 5 mil, or was it $4.5 million home, and you violate their trust. You're taking pictures outside on the pool with your shirt off and all you.
Can you believe that?
I mean, smoking a blunt. Like, who does that? I mean, I understand like the whole aspect of advertising your work on Instagram and even on YouTube, and because I watch a lot of those transformation channels where they go around doing the yards and doing the pressure washing. I love those. I love those. That's my obsession. But he's advertising himself by smoking a blunt and being shirtless in somebody's backyard. That is not your house.
He's a bum. He's a bum. Like, let's just face it. He's a bum. Like, I thought about that too. I was thinking, okay, he's filming content as like kind of a resume for his channels. But when you look at what he's doing, in one aspect, he's mowing yards and caring for people's yards. And then another aspect, he's helping himself to people's properties. Even just the filming alone, I'm going to just say I'm 99% sure he's had no permission from any of these people. If
No.
he's going to help himself to these people's house and throw a damn party, then I doubt he has said, "Do you mind if I film while I'm cutting, or while I'm working on your property for my channel content, to advertise my company?" I mean, I doubt he would even do something like that, especially as he's cutting shirtless. He's putting his feet in people's pools.
Get your
You
feet out my
know,
pool. Like,
girl,
that's my
can
pool.
you believe that?
Like,
The audacity. And I bet you if someone came to his house, I bet you if he came home from work and found someone in the shower, he probably flipped the fuck out.
he
Like,
would.
what are you doing in my house? Or
Get
someone helped himself to his stash of weed.
Right, or fixing a nice little sandwich. It's like, oh well, the electrician coming to repair the dryer or something, or repair their wall, and they help themselves to a sandwich. He'd be pissed.
Right.
So, and you think it's okay to go ahead and throw a party for your graduate son instead of doing like some of these younger parents do, like they'll rent a hotel room for him, but you decide, okay, well, my client, they shouldn't be upset. Why would they be upset? Why would they be upset? I'm showing off their property. I'm showing off all my work. Like
It's
he's
embarrassing. I think it's embarrassing. I think the kids today understand what a flex is. And I think most kids, if you're at a house, first of all, no matter if they use the entrance fee for security or not, you charge an entrance fee. What you use it for is your business. They're paying to have access to a party. So however you use the funds is your business, but you still charge an entrance fee in a venue that you had no rights to. So he needs to understand he's talking too much, and that doesn't really help his case, saying that he did not charge an entrance fee, but he charged an entrance fee. Um, and these kids understand what a flex is. Being in a property that you don't have permission to be in and getting shooed off by the police is not a flex. I'm surprised
No.
these kids aren't asking for their money back, because kids today, even though some of them are really dumb, they are a little more savvy and a little more sophisticated because they have been exposed to a lot. I'm
Hmm.
surprised these kids are not asking for refunds, because I'm sure that a lot paid by Cash App, and you get into a party and however many minutes later, you're
You get
being run
kicked
off
out.
down the street by the police.
I mean, I don't. Did they say how much they were charging?
On the flyer, it was like $70 for
Girl.
VIP. They had like general entrance, which was maybe $20, but then they had like VIP and sections, and they it was like they were selling a club. But of
Oh,
course, they took the post down.
oh,
So
they.
some of the posts were caught by the blog Charlotte, and they posted them, of course, but some of the on the two main channels that had the Instagram posts, all the posts were taken down, and then the flyer, as far as the packages, I hope I screenshot them. I didn't look this, I didn't even think about looking before I came live, but yesterday I was thinking about it and I wasn't sure. I feel like maybe I had screenshot them. I just need to go and look through my phone. But like I said, I emailed the guy, the son who was in the news report. So maybe if they answer, I don't know that they'd want to come on or anything, but if they answer some questions, that would be awesome. Because I would really like to know, is the family going to, obviously there's the criminal charges, and he did mention something about something
Civil.
civil. I'm just wondering, are they going to go for a order of protection?
They need to.
Yeah, because it's just odd. And if these people are on their own and they're just kind of, I mean, they could be footloose, fancy free, retired, semi-retired, and in the wind, enjoying the fruits of their labor.
Right, they could be
So
cruisers. They
yeah,
could be like, cruising half the year and then home half the year.
right.
So, and the son is the one looking out. Is looking out for the house, but yeah,
But
the
he
thing
didn't
that
know he had to be there every damn day, because you have a creep on the who is providing services. I don't even want to say on the payroll, because I don't think he's a employee of the family. I think he provides a service and he probably gets paid for the service. I don't know that he works for these people.
it would
You know what I
frighten
mean?
me. Yeah, I think the part that kind of threw me off was when he says, "No, I'm gonna keep my relationship with them."
Girl, I was
Yeah.
like, you gotta be kidding me.
They do need an order of protection, because if you come knock on my door and say, well, can we work things out? I didn't do anything illegal, really. You gave me the keys. I just thought that, we'd have everything cleaned up. If he were to come and try to do that when after you violated my privacy, I don't know if you ever had anybody try to break in on you or break in on you. You feel violated in your house, and even though they weren't home, this is still a violation. So,
Well, in the report, the police officer or detective, whomever that was they were interviewing, said he broke in. So I'm not sure if what he did. Did he actually break in, or do they consider him entering the property and maybe going through a gate? You know what I mean? Going through a gate, a closed access on the property, even though you haven't entered the home, that can still be considered breaking in, because now you've got an area that is enclosed and you're not invited to be on the property, you're not scheduled to work. That could be considered a break-in, right? So and then they did mention, so they didn't go into detail what the break-in was, but I'm assuming he must have broken into a closed part of the home. Because people who even have large parties like that and have a considerable size property, they'll bring, kind of like the fancy porta-johns out. They'll bring, not obviously job site porta-johns, but if you're having 100, 200 people outside or to your house, people will get the fancy porta-johns dropped off so that there is additional bathroom access, because that's a lot of people in your, in the midst, who need to use bathrooms and things like that. That's a lot of people to have at a house with nothing there to manage that. You don't want two and
Yeah.
300 people walking through your house, especially strangers. And what
I'm,
they were doing, they were smoking. The boys, people were shirtless, girls were twerking. It was a shit show.
it's an absolute mess, and I hope the son responds to you because I would love to hear like if what their next steps are. But I do think that more charges are going to come because he's indignant about not doing anything wrong, and he I'm gonna throw another one. We're gonna
Can you
keep
believe
having these
that?
parties.
He
We're
thinks
gonna
he's a party promoter now.
well go properly rent a place to have a party that has he didn't there's no liability insurance. If somebody got hurt there or something happened there, who's like the homeowners are going to be held responsible for it or held liable for it, not him. I mean, people could sue him, but realistically, it's on their property. He doesn't.
Right.
I don't think he. People think these things through when they try to run
Well,
these
and
scams.
initially he lied and said that he was them, then he's the grandson, or he's the son. And then when that lie didn't work, he eventually admitted that he was the lawn guy. I don't even want to say landscaper, because I don't even believe he's like a legit landscaper. I'm just going to say the lawn guy. It's a mess.
How do we say it? We say he cut grass.
He cuts grass, okay?
He cuts grass. I
He
mean,
cuts grass,
he cuts
okay?
grass. He probably is not licensed. And like you said, the homeowner could, who knows? The homeowner could have like met him at the grocery store and he presented himself very well. It's like, okay, I'll give you a chance. And this is what you do with people giving you a chance, especially as an ex-con. I did not know that he was an ex-con, so that adds another layer to this, and
Can
it's
you
very
believe it?
interesting. But I just wanted to really come up and say like that the whole dealing with someone with memory loss thing, it's absolutely it can be heartbreaking sometimes because sometimes you can see the desperation in their eyes to like truly remember like something you told them 5 minutes ago or even 5 hours ago, or they mess up, or they how free they are like with giving away things or just friendly with their money, and then you kind of have to come through and pick up the pieces, and you want them to still try to you think that them having their freedom will keep their like will help keep their memory or
No.
their cycling. It just yeah it's
So, does your grandfather need to have a active debit card?
I mean for bills realistically
I mean,
I
if his
mean
memory's that bad, you guys should have him on some auto pay, and somebody should be handling it.
well, that's what the plan is now for me. Because he and my grandmother passed away, and he's a step grandpa, but he's been in my life since I was a tot. So he's my grandfather. Um, he his family doesn't think that there's anything wrong, but I'm here because they came here after
Who's got
Katrina.
power of attorney?
His mother has power of attorney, but
His his mother?
his mother has power of attorney, and she's 80 something years old. So they, it's a long story, but his mother has power of attorney. But like I said, I'm the only one here, so it's complicated, and I'm doing my best because he doesn't need a debit
Why
card.
87? How old is he?
My grandfather is 66. I'm sorry,
So,
67.
some sort of vascular issue? Like, why is he is it what is kicking in this dementia? Because I mean,
Um, oh, I think it's we think it's wet brain because he was a heavy drinker.
okay.
So that he hasn't drank for like 15 years, but it's
The
still like,
damage was done.
yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, his mother has power of attorney, and they they feel because they like to keep it in the family, but I'm his family. I may not be their family, but I'm his family, and I'm here and I'm doing things, and it it's just it can be very difficult, but
Yeah.
and
I
trying
mean,
to.
there's things you can do to help, but you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to go, the bank is going to treat you like a stranger without power of attorney. And if they're not willing to allow you to help him legally, like for you to accompany him to the bank, for you to manage his banking, I mean, they can turn around and say anything about anything that you're doing
That's
and
what
say
I'm
you
worried
are not
about.
authorized. So, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and that's the thing that I worry about too is like, okay, but if you were to look at his banking history, I have to cover so many of his expenses when he goes and does crazy things with his debit card. I have to chip in, and no one else is doing it. But and I'm trying to do it delicately to where he doesn't feel like his life is taken over, because he can get that way where like people who have this issue, they can panic. They think that you're trying to take over, and they don't have any freedom. But it is very difficult. It can be heartbreaking to watch that decline.
Mm,
So I appreciate
yes.
I appreciate you for always sharing like your story, because that's something that's close to the heart with me.
Yeah, it's tough. So, yeah, I mean, your situation is super complicated. I can't even begin to unravel it like at this moment, but good. I mean, I'm going to, and I mean all due sincerity, good luck with it because it sounds very complicated
It
because
is.
this especially if he does have a coin, um they're gonna, it just depends on how the family wants to go with it. But if they're not willing to accept that he's got an issue, they might say you have an issue. So, just do what you can and keep it cute. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, um, yes, it's very tough. But I don't know. The best way that I dealt with it is I stopped trying to make my dad back the way he was. I couldn't
Yeah.
You can't fix when someone's brain is deteriorating. There is no amount of prayer or wishing and hoping that's going to make that brain come back. It's deteriorating. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's okay because it's an illness and it's a point in their life. It's what they are going through. And the sooner you accept it when you've got someone who's suffering from memory loss, the easier it is to deal with the situation,
I have.
because it's
I,
it does seem like, oh, when there's the good days and the bad days, and then
mhm.
you're kind of like, well, why can't we have a good day every day?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't work like that.
Was your dad ever like mean?
No,
Okay.
no.
Some
He didn't
some
have a mean bone in his body. He just, I mean, he could get a little, but that was few. No, my dad was so jovial and pleasant. Even when he was having anxiety, it was just, "No, I'm not doing that. No, I don't want that. No, I'm not going." All of those kind of things. Like, for instance, when it was, my wedding and
mhm.
they literally had to force him to get into the car, because they could not fly. So they took a night trip. My brother, um, drove my parents, and they did it overnight. So he would be in his pajamas, comfortable, big van, and just, you know what I mean, and drove
Yeah.
him to North Carolina. And when he got here, he was like, "Oh my God," like he was happy to see me and was just, he still remembered who I was at that point. So
That's good.
but getting into the vehicle to go, not knowing where he was going and things like that, baby, they said it was a mess. But when he got here, it was fine and he slept the whole way. So
That's
that was
cool.
good. So, you have to be super thoughtful about how you
Yeah.
do things. You can't expect them to quick like go back to normal. That's just not going to happen. Those days are over.
Yeah, because it's sometimes sometimes he's an old school New Orleans guy, and
Hmm.
sometimes he can get he was already kind of ornery, but he had a good spirit about him, and sometimes now he can just be so mean, and the the police
Well,
have
the
been
doctor needs
called.
to give him some Ativan. He might need one of those Ativan patches.
Oh, really? Okay, then
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Girl, some anti-anxiety on a patch
okay,
will get them right. Yeah.
okay. Well,
I
I
mean, every
appreciate.
patient is different. But that's part of the anxiety. And then he might just need some anti-anxiety. And if it's and they'll give the long acting so they get kind of like a steady
A
dose
steady
throughout
dose
the
of it.
day.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
it's administered, then then they're, I for me, going through it, it was just one of those things that I was grateful that we weren't going through other things because I know people out here who are going through severe traumatic situations with their parents, and I was grateful that I wasn't dealing with amputations. I was dealing with
Oh, yeah.
not dealing with heart transplants, cancer, all of the things that plenty of people are going through. I was, you know what I mean? I was like, his memory's going in and out. And it is hurtful, but it's not I was grateful we had what we had and we didn't have to deal with what we didn't have to deal with. That's the way I looked at it.
Well, I appreciate you, friend. I'll let you play your video. I won't keep you for so long. Thank you
Okay.
so much for
All
talking to
right,
me.
take care.
All right, bye bye.
All right, bye-bye. Hi, Amy. Bougie
Bougie
Gang's calling.
gang, what's
Bougie Gang's
up?
calling in
What's up?
today.
Yes, yes, they are. We are coming in hot, right? Get
Yes.
ready
What's
for the
going
week.
on?
Nothing. I
Yes,
just wanted to say
absolutely.
hello and
How are
say and
you?
give you all your flowers, tell you
Oh,
what a good
thank you.
job you're
You're so sweet.
doing. And
Thank
nobody ever
you.
stops to ask you, what was your favorite part of this week? What was your favorite story to cover this week?
Oh, thank you for asking me that.
Right? You're
Um,
always bringing the news to us, but I'm like, ooh, I wonder which one was her favorite this week.
I do my secret. I'm telling you, I do watch the Diddy. Diddy is like, let me get
Girl.
my
Oh my
popcorn.
gosh. Okay.
It's hard
Who's your
for me
favorite
to even
content
talk
creator
about it.
to follow?
I hate
I
to
know, right?
say.
I know.
I'm not gonna be shy about it. I love Armand Wiggins. I watch
Yes, yes,
every
Armand.
at 7 o'clock.
Armand
My heart,
Wiggins. Be
yes,
bringing the tea.
right. At 7 o'clock, it's like my body clock is like, is it on? Is it on? Like
Uh-huh,
7 o'clock, I'm looking, right? Um,
uh-huh,
I do watch so in the morning, sometimes when I'm tootling around, I'll put on Reuters, and
Oh,
Reuters
okay.
has a live feed for like an hour. Reuters is outside the federal building, kind of like what Dennis
Uh-huh.
does.
Yep.
Dennis
Mm-hmm.
puts the camera like on the doors and he's catching people coming in, but
Mm-hmm.
Reuters seems to have a couple of cameras and they catch a lot of the encampment type situation. They're not
Yes, yes.
they catch some of the people from the YouTube streets who
Yes,
you
they
would
catch
mistake for
Mama
being
Diddy
for
coming
being
in.
they
Uh-huh.
catch
With
Mama
her
Diddy coming
uh-huh.
in.
With
They
her
catch
blonde wig.
sometimes they catch Sylvia looking like a homeless person on the street. They catch all the people.
I plead the
They'll
fifth.
they will be filming outside and you might see Tisa
Uh-huh.
tells.
Yep, yep.
You'll see
Listen,
everybody and
listen,
I like
listen,
that.
listen.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my
They
God.
catch
Yeah.
everybody. So I love that. I love kind of the seeing what's going on. So Diddy is definitely like I love that. Um, I did enjoy a little bit just catching the Ronnie Walker story
Mm,
wrap up
yep.
this
Yep.
week. So the mom got justice and the little girl got some
Mm,
justice this week. He got life without
yes.
parole. Um I did enjoy Paris Fashion Week, watching Beyonce
Wasn't
and
it? Yes.
Jay-Z.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. All the
I watched
snaps. Yes.
a
Come on
live
in.
feed of Beyonce's concert in Paris. So
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna and ASAP Rocky doing the town with the baby. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I've been watching. And just researching, doing lots of research and watching what's
right.
going to when. But
Because you got to
yeah,
bring it for this week. I get it. Yes, you're doing your thing. You have to stay on your coin as well, right?
I
That's
have
what you
to,
taught me.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I have like sometimes I see things that I know I like, but I don't know, sometimes I bring stuff I'm not sure what you guys are going to want to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I love the story in Osceola County because I just know that this is going to be not just because it's going to be a big story. I just think it's really interesting when you see someone in law enforcement get busted,
Right. Hmm.
and the fact that I think that a lot of people don't like him. It's looking like he's not like Osceola's most loved resident, and for him
Hmm.
to get busted doing something illegal and the feds are involved and all of that, the wife, it's looking really messy, it's looking really there could be more stuff going on, like maybe some trafficking. There's, it's looking like there's more going on. It's just kind of an interesting story. So, I like to try to bring stories and follow up on stories that I think are interesting. And, that's kind of, but yeah, I do consume a lot of news that I don't
Yes.
even talk to you guys about just because I can't talk about everything. And you guys really, like, I would say over 50% of what you guys, I feel like you guys want from me is Nesto. So it's like, I feel like that's what brought us all together. But one day
They
Nesto
smiling
stories
nasty.
is
We
going
need
to
some
end.
nasty.
Right. One day. And I mean, if he were to, I don't know. I mean, I think there's always going to be some Nesto story going around, no matter, even if he's in prison,
Sure.
if he
Yeah.
were to get out for some reason, by some stretch of the imagination, if he were to get out, I would almost think that he'd find his way to social media. And also,
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
just him trying to entertain suing people is going to be
Hmm.
hilarious. Because I would love for him to try to demonstrate how people hurt his reputation when you are a numerous convicted felon and no one is doing anything but talking about the allegations. So it's
Hmm.
like, how are people hurting your reputation? So that would be comical. He's going to be the gift that keeps giving for a long
Hmm.
time, but I do
Agree.
feel like some people are kind of tired.
Sure. Yeah.
Some people still want it, so I'm trying to really make sure I'm giving some variety because this is what I really do like doing. um so
I would absolutely agree. And the Diddy trial, there's so many great content, truly good content creators out there that I've been exposed to. So, like, I didn't know anything about Armand, right? So, you turned me on
mhm.
to Armand, and I was like, well, let me go check him out. So, Sis and I tend to have a little bit of the same likes when we come to people's and
Uh-huh.
what we do and don't tolerate. So, I went over and checked him out, and I was like, okay, I think I like it here. Let me sit for a minute. And then I got on to Tisa, and I have thoroughly enjoyed watching both of them. It's like going to two different stores, right, for the
Mhm.
same product, but you kind of
Right.
like one story over the other just because, you like the flavor of each store.
Right.
And that's kind of how I look at content creators in general. Even if they're all covering the same issue, they all have their own little slice of doing it. And I think that's what is unique about it. And I love it. And so, and then I ran over to, of course, Meek at Night. And
Yes, she's so
um,
sweet. Yes.
I love how she is really trying to step her game up, right? And so I think
Yeah.
they are some good ones to watch on, if you wanted to start down that journey, don't stop going.
Right.
That's great. And then of course I always go over and check out Kathy. She's like my morning coffee. She gets me because
Kathy's
her
so
and
funny.
I,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, her and I same energy, like from the jump, same energy. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love to hear though what do the content creators actually, because you guys are people and consumers too. And so
Mhm.
I'm always curious, like, wonder what, like Emily, she shares a lot of what, she's doing outside of say YouTube. We know she loves
Right,
her
with the
some Dave
kids and Dr.
Matthews. Yeah,
B
her
and yeah.
concerts and like she's the whole, I'm going to concerts, period. That's my life.
Right.
And the
Dave
kids.
Matthews. Yeah, she's a
Exactly.
vibe. Yeah.
Exactly. And so yeah, so and I love hearing like, the summer days with Farah because it reminds me of my son when my kids were still home and
Aw.
it would have the summer, like I'd be like, okay, I have to work today, but we're gonna like go do something fun for lunch and then come back, so we can still kind of
Mhm.
have summer fun. And then you hear stories like the one you were just discussing where said lawn man who could have had a very, oh my gosh, he could have had a very profitable career and never looked back with his whole record, right? But
Mhm.
sometimes our human factor just gets in the way of our human self. And I, I don't know. It's like, dude, what were you thinking? Like, really, what were you thinking? And the reality is he wasn't. He was like, oh, I'm going to do this in the moment. And it's like a cautionary tale of this is why you don't make decisions impulsively, because
No.
typically we don't make good decisions. So, I mean, huge yard, huge
Mhm.
party, huge pool. Yay, it's going to be a blast, right? Oh, let's charge. Let's make a little
I
dollar on the
mean,
side.
it's not like he was
So,
having a party for even 50 people. You had hundreds.
right,
Did you not think
hundreds,
the neighbors were going
hundreds.
to notice? Like,
Right, right. And depending on what kind of neighborhood it is, I mean, especially if those people, like I know my neighborhood. I know when, and the same for us. People know we don't typically entertain a lot, so we don't typically have a lot of cars. So if we do, people know, oh, they're having a gathering, right? Because it's just,
mhm.
it's not, it, it sticks out. And so I would almost gander to think when people are seeing people park on their street, and then I'm sure somebody started parking in somebody's driveway. It becomes a whole issue. But it's like now you're probably
Well,
going to
they
jail
look
again.
like
Like,
they're on at least 5 acres. Like the house, it's giving
oh
5
my
to 10
gosh.
acres. It's giving I wouldn't it's not a gated community to enter. So, are you familiar with Charlotte at all? They're over on the
Oh
Weddington
yeah.
side. So, if you know
Okay.
on
Okay.
the other
So
side
a little
of
more rural.
Mecklenburg County. Yeah, so they're on the far end of Matthews where it turns to Weddington. So
Gotcha.
they're
Okay.
like Weddington Waxhaw.
Okay.
Um
Okay. Yeah.
so
On the
because I
other
think
side.
even
Gotcha.
the detective was standing in front of Indian Trail because I was like, they're all over the place. There's Weddington, Waxhaw, Indian Trail, and it was Union County Sheriffs. So they were it's even if you walk out the end of the driveway and the neighbor's house right across the street is accessible, I still think it was one of those where people were coming through loud. these were
Yeah. Yeah.
these were older teens, young 20s. People were being loud. People are in bathing suits. People are twerkulating. People are not using good sense entering into people's neighborhoods. So even if
Right.
he had had a party for some 20 and 30 somethings, maybe they would have at least known, like, okay, let's not be loud. Like, let's not be ghetto right now. Let's wait till we get to the party. But kids are excited. Boys are seeing girls in bikini tops,
Well, they
and
had just
they
gotten out of
probably
school too.
they
So
just
they're
got out of
already
school,
right.
and they don't know that this man does not have permission. So it's not, I'm not trying to give him a pass or anything. We're just explaining maybe what the party goers were experiencing coming
Oh,
to a,
hot
a
mess.
neighborhood with nice house. And but yeah, he's stupid. He was
Oh,
dumb.
so stupid.
He
So
deserved to be
stupid.
arrested, and he deserves whatever the people have for him, because no one gives you permission to carte blanche their house. That's just ridiculous. That was
Look, we
absolutely
all work
insane.
very hard for what we have, right?
Mhm.
And I barely have time to enjoy what I have, right? And so if somebody's going to come and try to enjoy on my dime, no, press all the charges. I'm sorry, because
Yeah.
you know what I did? I worked hard to have this so I could enjoy it when I have the time to enjoy it, and I take advantage of that. but I didn't work this hard for somebody to come in and take advantage of it for me without permission. You
Right.
know, we have a hot tub. If somebody wants to, my neighbor, if they want to say, hey, you know, they're a good friend of mine, do you mind if I come over? Girl, come on over. You can come on over and sit in the hot tub. Just know you're on your own. I'm not going to be watching over you. You know, stand up every 15 minutes to give yourself some, you know, she knows. Like, I trust you, come over and use it. But but if I came home and found some random strangers at my hot tub, first, I'm not saying a word to you. I'm turning right around. I'm walking inside. I'm calling the police, and they can handle the rest. And I'm taking pictures of license plates before I do anything else. Like you don't have that permission.
Not at all.
You don't have that permission. And I think, you know, even bigger is a lesson for the younger ones that you don't touch what's not yours. Like you have every right to have everything that those people had, but you have to work for it. And
Right.
it's like I've had to tell my daughter because she wants a boat. Okay, not a
Mhm.
typical, you know. But I told her I was like, honey, you will get your boat someday. It will be, when your dad and I's age, and she goes, oh, that's gonna be like forever. And I'm like, I'm not gonna even take, I'm not going to take offense to that, but that's just how it is sometimes. You get to a certain age, you can start enjoying the fruits of your labor. And so, but yeah. And I mean, it's a beautiful pool, right? Like, See, if I saw all that, I would be so mad, so mad. I would be like, so yeah, those two girls, that would be my whole face. Like, what is happening right now?
Look at the
What is
yard.
happening?
They've got
I mean,
everybody.
oh my
It's like they're
Imagine
at
all
the
the
park.
damage that's done to that yard from the cars, from people walking on it. I'm just like, oh
Let
my
me tell
goodness
you, there was a
gracious.
part. I'm sure you heard about the party that
Is
was
she
in
just sitting there
Hickory.
smoking weed? I don't have my glasses on, but was she
Yeah.
just
Did you? What
they
about
put the cutout
the
sign and
party
everything?
in
Oh my God.
Hickory? There was a party in Hickory like a month ago, and there were 5 boys that showed up, and there was a shootout at the
Oh, a
people's
shooting.
house
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in
You know that
Hickory.
happens here.
There was 80 shell rounds, and one person was killed, and 11 people were
Yes.
injured
Yes.
at a Airbnb. I guess they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
Airbnb-ing the house. So the person that owned the home is a contractor, and he had it on Airbnb. So he Airbnb'd the house. Somebody rented it, and they decided to have a party, and 5 guys showed up and popped off 80 rounds. One person was killed, 11 people were injured. Like that could have happened right here.
Yeah, that actually happened in
Like this is
Greensboro.
their driveway, so you can see this is
Look at
not
that.
like
And
your
he
typical
look, you
drive.
can't
They've
even
got a
deny you were
huge,
there.
yeah, they've got to be sitting on at least like the drone
Let me kind
footage.
of
It was giving at least 5, but it's probably about 10 acres. They have a nice piece of property, not
oh my
super
gosh.
huge, but big,
You know
big.
what? Whether it's a tin can or whether it's
It's
a
theirs,
it's
absolutely.
theirs, right? It doesn't, and I think that's, the
Look at
key
him
is that
outside their
look,
house
he can't even
dancing.
can't, and smoking weed. I mean, just
He's sitting down, grooving, feet in
I
the
mean, just
pool, laying
yeah,
down. This is not serious about your business. This is
right,
not giving
right.
I'm serious about my business at all. This is
This is not
I'm
integrity.
I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing around. Um I'm playing around.
And the bad thing is he could have had a very profitable business. I mean, like where he got to the point where he didn't have to do the yards. He had a whole crew doing them, and it's very sad that he threw it
Absolutely.
all
North
away
Carolina,
just to
many people, many states, I'm not going to just say North Carolina, but specifically here, people are very serious about their yards. People pay. Um,
uh-huh. Yeah.
and, landscaping is a very profitable business. And, you've got the right machinery. You're in and out in 15 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
you're doing a ton of yards a day, and
Yep.
you're making money, and depending on what people want done, but clearly this guy doesn't care about that. But yeah, he did do an interview from prison to entrepreneurship. One of you guys sent this to me. I don't know how y'all found it, but it was in my inbox today. And I
Bougie
started
gang.
watching it. Yeah, Bougie Gang is so funny.
It's
Y'all
so
a
funny.
mess. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I
So
appreciate you taking the time to share with us. Not
absolutely.
that you don't share, you share lots, but I'm like, I'm always curious about like, what are you guys enjoying and who are some of your favorite content creators that are covering? And we'll just have to see how this whole
I
Diddy
mean,
thing rolls
I do
out.
watch Hidden True Crime.
Yep.
Lori
Yep.
Dias and her husband, Lauren. There, the funny thing for what's going on right now, let me take him off the screen for a second. Okay, so Nate, so if you guys don't know, Nate from East Idaho
Eaton.
News
Yep.
is
Nate
going
Eaton.
to interview. He's already interviewed Lori Vallow, and it's going to be tomorrow 7 o'clock. I think 7 o'clock our time. I think maybe it could be 10 o'clock our time, but it's he went to the jail and he got an interview with Lori, and he first tried to interview her when she was in Hawaii, when the police went and
Hmm.
found her when she was in Hawaii trying to not answer questions about Tylee and JJ. And this just the preview does look really
Hmm.
good because he's like, so if Tylee allegedly killed JJ and got depressed and committed suicide over it, how how did she die first? I think that's how,
Well, and
because they
why
said
not just call the police? Like, why not just call the police? You know,
no.
we've got a murder suicide. I mean,
Well,
happens all the
that's
time.
but according to the police and the decomposition of the bodies, Tylee died first, right?
Yeah,
But her
because
story
yeah,
is that she
JJ.
and then she did herself, but that's
She's
not,
a
the science
she
says that did not happen. So he asked,
she is an
he just
interesting
yeah,
human
he
study
straight up
too.
asked her some of the questions that everybody, he asked her the questions that people want to know. Like I was
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm gonna be watching because but I
Oh,
do like Nate.
Nate came to play. He does not
Yeah,
play with her, and
Nate is
that will
really
be
good.
he is a true journalist. I mean, by heart, he is a true journalist. And what's interesting about him and Lori is that it's like this love hate relationships. She cannot stand him, but she'll give him an interview. And he knows that. And so it's so funny because he also holds her feet to the fire. Like, okay, well, so why did you kill Tylee? And she's like,
Right.
I did not. She is in a better place. I did not. Let me go curl my hair. I did not kill her. I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like,
Right.
yeah,
I'm
you were
excited to see that
convicted for it.
tomorrow. But
Yeah,
this is the
yeah, it's
first
going to
time
be
that they're
good.
getting to sit down because
Right, exactly.
he's never gotten a chance to talk to her. So this is going to be good.
It is.
I
It
do
is.
like Lori. There's a guy who I watch. I don't even know his name. It's called Crime Talk. Do you ever watch him?
I don't think I've caught him.
It's a channel called Crime Talk. I don't even know what his name is, but he's really really good. He
And
talks
honestly, I think because of Karen Reed and Diddy and all of the smaller stories, my algorithm, Al is acting up. Like my algorithm is all out of whack right now.
mhm.
And so I need to go through and delete some of my searches so my algorithm can get back into, it can start behaving again because I'm also getting suggestions of things that I'm like, absolutely not.
Well,
Like,
and also there's going to
absolutely
be
not.
wild cards. Remember, in any kind of algorithm or search,
Yes,
they're always going to
yes.
throw wild cards out there. So it's better. I mean, you could do what you want, but I would think sometimes when I see stuff that is completely what or why, I
Oh, I
just
get what you're
click
saying.
my ellipsis
Yep,
next to
yep,
the offering, and I
yep.
just either don't offer it to me. Not interested means they can offer you that creator, but you're just not interested in that video
That
and they'll take it
content.
away.
Hmm.
If you
Okay,
say
gotcha.
don't recommend, then they won't recommend you that creator again.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that
That's good to
also
know. I
helps
knew there was
too.
probably some
So
way to do it in an easier fashion because I'm trying to go all old school and like go through my searches and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't have time to do this
And
right now.
it's because a couple of things. Either people who watch what you watch are watching that, or um they think you might like that based on it's all kind of the patterns. based on, you watching this and maybe me watching something, or you, because it is kind of weird, but it's not, when we all kind of find out we're watching very similar things, or like, oh yeah, I saw that, it was in my feed, I never clicked on it, or, oh, girl, I've been binge watching it for
Right.
however long. Because natural, you might find something just out of the blue on your own, and or it might be recommended to you because someone else found something out of the blue on their own. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's interesting. I like to see what they're going to put in front of me. If I really am kind of like, no, I don't want to watch that, then I just, eventually
Yeah, I
too,
will
when you
let them
scroll
bring it
past
to
stuff.
me, and then I'm
Hmm.
kind of like, how did that? But that explains why it would be getting on my feed. And, you know, working with technology as I do anyways, I should know all this because but it's that AI is constantly evolving itself. And and we know it listens to us anyways. We can be having a
Right, right,
conversation
right.
about new dog leashes, and all of a sudden we get 5 recommendations for these awesome dog
Absolutely.
leashes.
Yes.
And at first you're like, oh my gosh, did my telepathic abilities finally kick in? And it's like, yeah, no, girl, you're not that special. It's called computers, So,
Right, because also we have to remember that YouTube is here to sell advertising.
yeah.
That's what they
And
do.
we are probably boring the chat with our, we're just having a lovely Sunday sip and tea conversation, guys. We're so glad you guys came out for our TED talk on algorithms and all the things. And we love Fran. So everybody give her
Yeah.
flowers, put some flowers in the chat. We thank y'all for sticking around with us. All right, I'm going to go ahead and step back down because I have some yard work to do. I'll be listening in the
Okay.
background. Love you all. Thanks for what you do, Fran. You do an
Oh,
amazing
thank
job.
you,
And I
Amy.
think,
Thank you.
you've got a lot of good supporters. We love Joey, even though sometimes Joey is like, Joey, what are you talking about? Like what? And then I'm like, come sit next to me,
Uh,
Joey. We'll just come over here and time out
always
for a minute,
funny.
okay? So, but we do love you. Keep doing what you do. And bye, Bougie Gang. Y'all have a lovely
Okay.
Sunday.
All right. See you later, Amy. Take care. All right. The science ain't sciencing. I'd love to see that interview. Can you give me details? Which what are you talking about? The one we were just for Lori Vallow? It's going to be tomorrow on East Idaho News. So, if I say Nate Eaton, it's not going to, you're probably not going to find him. You got to go to East Idaho News and you will see the preview for the Lori Vallow interview, if that's what you're referring to. Um, let's see. Anybody else have any questions for me? Um, okay. So yesterday I put up the Diddy. Oh, another thing was Antoine getting captured, which was pretty interesting. Um, let me tell you what happened with him too, really quick. So let me show you guys. Let me pull him up real quick. He um he was in an Airbnb, which was interesting. He was in an Airbnb, and I don't know who rented it for him, but he was in an Airbnb. That particular property was owned. So there were two properties on the actual physical space, one of which was being rented through Airbnb. And the lady said she had no idea who was back there. Because I guess I guess whenever she has guests, I don't know, I don't want to put words, but she said she didn't know who was back there and was surprised that when they came through the way they did. So I had some stuff in members. We talked about a few things in members. What I got, I'll talk about it in a minute. Um, so she was surprised that they came through the way they did and that he was actually back there. So that was pretty much how he got busted. They contacted the sheriff. I don't know if they're going to show a picture of her. So someone contacted the sheriff. I don't know if the sheriff put them in touch with Crime Stoppers so that they could get their reward money. But yeah, he was basically hiding out allegedly in a Airbnb. Was he in an Airbnb the whole time? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to come forward and tell the whole story, or he's going to tell his story, or it's going to be in ultimately his new charges that he'll end up getting, and we'll see it in a police report. I'm sure it's going to make for a good read whenever they decide to issue that information out, so we know how it went down. But yeah, Antoine and his aunt actually did go to Instagram and was, just overjoyed and happy that his family can get rest and be happy, and the grandfather no longer had to be worried, and the mother didn't have to be worried anymore, and all of the things. So yeah, that was an interesting story too this week. Okay, so the update on Tyshell, I need to look to see when her next court dates are, but I did get some stuff from the Lake County Jail regarding Tyshell. So I got some phone logs, I got visitors logs, and I got incident reports. And I read a few pages to you guys in members. So if you did not catch that live, it's in members. Um, I can go through it again. It just didn't seem like you guys were super duper into it, so I wasn't super motivated in continuing. So I read like about 10 pages. I felt like you guys got the gist of what was going on, and I didn't even bring it outside because I was like, if I just made, after reading it, I mean, it was kind of interesting to me, but I don't know, I'll bring it back and see. Hey Tanika, hey boo boo. Some people are interested in that jail drama, like it was jail immature, I'm in lockup type drama. Somebody's looking at me, can I get a Bible, can I get a Bible, can I get some paper and some pens please, or I made a request to the nurse type stuff. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that report, it was like a 33-page report. It was probably like about 20 incident reports from the time that she came in to like a few months ago, of incident reports with her within her pod. So, and I'm talking about Tyshell Martin. So yeah. So, it was interesting. Now, were there text messages and stuff like that? No. Text with the outside world? No. No phone calls. It was visitor logs, phone logs. The phone logs mean nothing to me because I don't know people's phone numbers. I can look up the phone numbers, but my thought is that most of the people are either her daughters or her mother, possibly, and maybe just friends. Um, in one of the incident reports, regarding Tyshell Martin, they talked about, um, that she was kind of feeling like she was being bullied by a couple of other inmates because they were trying to spread rumors. And I'm like, it's not a rumor if it's true. You know what you did. But she said that another inmate was trying to tell people what her charges are, and can you get them to stop, and they were like, no, you're trying, that's that's for you to manage. I mean, look, when I'm thinking about Lake, it's crazy that we now know a few people who are in Lake County. Tyshell is in there, Kimberly Mills is in there, damn, Sheriff Marcos Lopez baby mom slash wife is in there, Robin Severance Lopez is in there, the lady who strangled her daughter, what's her name? Rotisha, what's her name? Rotisha Savalas. I'm butchering her name, but the girl who called 911 and said her mom was trying to kill her, and by the time the police got there, she was deceased. Um, she's there. Well, no, is that Lake County or is that Hillsborough? That might be Hillsborough. My bad. I'm trying to think of who else is in Lake County if I think hard enough about it. There's some real trash cans in Lake County Adult Detention Center. That's is my point. So Tyshell being concerned about people knowing her charges, it's like, ma'am, just relax. Just relax, because you better get used to this because you're not going anywhere. You're not leaving Lake County anytime soon, and when you leave Lake County, you're going to be going wherever the prisons are. Okay? Yeah. It's bad. It's like, sis, you're not going anywhere at all. You're just going up the road. Whenever you leave here, you're going up the road. There's no way that you're getting away. And look, uh her baby dad, he's going too. And if he comes in and drops the evidence on her, helps the state prosecute her, then maybe he'll get a little bit less time, but she's definitely going down. You're interested in all the stories. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I remember Sarah Jr. So you feel like it was giving Sarah Jr. Because Miss HLS is asking who's Sarah Jr. Um, Okay, let me thank you guys. The member milestones. Thank you so much for dropping those. Is it Marla G927? And you know this. Thank you, Boo. Listening while trying to figure out this leaky water heater. And then thank you, Soul Power. Happy Sunday, Bougie Gang. I'm 1 year Bougie anniversary. Thank you so much. Um, let's see. Oh, someone said they were not interested in the Diddy story at all. Let me see. Where was that? I hate the video with with AI voices. Yeah, no. I don't. I mean, I don't really use that. The science. Okay. The Diddy story is going to be over soon. I like the whole entire Diddy, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the story per se because there's a lot to it, but the violent aspects of it. But as far as the case, as far as just the energy surrounding what's going on with Diddy right now, it's interesting to me. I like seeing people excited about something. The interesting thing about what's going on outside of Diddy is just the fact that, like, um you know, it is interesting to see the people outside of the courthouse, even though it does look crazy. People are talking to strangers, which is, interesting, right? And also people are debating and they're not just talking about, they're talking about an interesting federal case. I think it's a good thing when something can get people out the house, talking, debating, having conversations. People are also talking about the law, like lay people are talking about applying the law or what happened, sharing ideas. I just feel like it's a win. Even though, yes, people would love to, I would love to dial back and not have like my 13-year-old be giggling because she's heard me say freak off one too many times. You know what I mean? Like, it is it's sad that the term freak off had to enter our vocab and consciousness. But it is what it is, and it's here, and there's not a whole lot that we can do about it. Wow, it's been 18 months. I appreciate Oh, thank you. I appreciate you too, Miss HLS. Not you personally, but the stuff that pops into my feed. I'm prepared for disappointment with the outcome of the Diddy case. So disappointment as in him being found guilty or not guilty? Member 13 months. Red flag. Yeah. The red flags. Um Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for 13 months. Let me see where my thing was. Oops. I don't know if I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I have a level of expectation to feel like I'm going to be disappointed. I I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. I don't have a level. I don't have a expectation. So I don't have a, oh my god, he's guilty. or oh my God, he's innocent. I'm waiting to hear what happens. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a vote at this moment. I might have a vote later, but I still don't. So it's too late. I guess they're gonna go and start deliberating on Monday, and then I'm just, I like I told you guys on Friday, I just really thought this trial was going to be something completely different. So I don't even know what to say. I'm still kind of like, I'm on some, is that it? You know, because he obviously, he came to the internet, he apologized to Cassie, he paid Cassie a lot of money. He has been dragged. Um, Is he still up to his shenanigans? I don't know. Um, was he in freak off mode when they arrested him? It seems like it. Um, is he going to learn his lesson if they let him out? Is he going to does he need to be treated for some sort of sex addiction to leave escorts alone and stop paying for sex? Because he should know, if he doesn't know, that people are watching, and that if he does get acquitted this time, it could happen again. Yeah, it's very underwhelming. I don't even feel like as opinionated as people might think I am. I don't have an opinion on it, other than my main opinion is I was still waiting for like part 2 of the case. I'm just it is very underwhelming. And I don't mean that to sound like I'm diminishing what happened or didn't happen to the victims, people who were truly victimized, but it sounds like some of the people who were victimized have been compensated well. So that's that. You know what I mean? So um I just thought we were going to hear more about other things coming to released from Georgia jail. Uh, did I just see something about Jackie Larita? Jackie Larita is done staying quiet. The jaw-dropping new interview that exposes Melissa Gorga allegedly told her. Okay. Some Real Housewives of New Jersey news. I'm just getting a flash. Glad to be part of the bouginess for 60 News. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me drop some coins on you guys. Okay. All right, let's look at this real quick. I don't know if this is going to be interesting or not. I watched a little bit of it. Let me see. This might be a little bit of Nesto Jr. I feel like he's giving Nesto Jr. Oh, here it is, right here in my face. My bad.
To get the job done, I want to make sure I'm looking good doing it. And using my football mentality, it creates a strength in me that I know I can't be broke down while I'm working. You know what I'm saying? It keeps me focused, and I'm a champion. So
this guy is a clown.
Having a champion.
If you're just now coming in, I'm trying to get some more information about this guy, and just a little bit about what's been going on. And one of you guys dropped this into my inbox, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. I didn't know that this guy had even done this interview. He's giving a little bit of Jim Jones here. I don't know why. Not here, but he just he's
landscaping. But to get started, I would like to start saying I was a college athlete for Shaw University in 2006 and 2007.
I think Shaw University closed. Am I wrong? I know it's an HBCU, but let's see.
When I went on to win a championship with them as well in 2007 as a freshman. I found troubles in college financially. It caused me to have some legal issues with law enforcement, and I had to serve a prison sentence for 7 years and 8 months.
Okay,
and
so
in
my
that
bad.
time
Shaw University is still is a university. I believe they're in North Carolina. Shaw University. Let me just see, because I wasn't sure. I was just like, who accepted him? Shaw University. They're in HBCU. I'm sure Shaw probably is like, please don't even mention us. I feel like they're in North Carolina. Yeah, they're in Raleigh. So Shaw University is an HBCU, Raleigh, North Carolina. So he claims, which maybe he was in Shaw University, maybe he was a student of Shaw University, but at a certain point, he fucked up and ended up breaking the law. And what did he say? Did a 7-year bid in prison
for Shaw University in 2006 and 2007. When I went on to win a championship with them as well in 2000.
This is the landscaper that had the party at the $1 million home. One of you guys sent me this video.
7 as a freshman. I found troubles in college financially. It caused me to have some legal issues with law enforcement, and I had to serve as a prison sentence for 7.
Notice how he says, I had some, how does he say it? I had some financial troubles, which caused me to get some legal issues, and I had to do a prison sentence.
Found troubles in college financially. It caused me to have some legal issues with law enforcement, and I had to serve as a prison sentence for 7 years and 8 months. And in that time of incarceration, my brother would always tell me that when I came home, he would have, a business for us to, make money and stay out of trouble. I never knew it was going to be in landscaping. So I was able to come home and begin to learn different skill sets within the landscaping industry. And I found a passion for it. And I created my own style and vision within just learning different techniques and different pieces of equipment within landscaping. And so now I'm here today to present my story on how it changed my life. And I want to just reach out to the youth and other adults and just share my story and my dream with them.
As we're going to see here, Mr. Brown also has a love and a passion for video production. And you told me you kind of use this as a hope to be able to attract the interest of young people so that they may be interested in coming to work for you. Is that what your plan is here with leveraging video? And as you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and share some of these with you because you got some talent here, man. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So when it comes with my videography, I use that. I actually utilize the music to use the music as a message. And then I just use my craft to inspire people to let them know that this is a cool thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So as you can see here, like you would never see anybody use this equipment the way I use it because I make it fun. I make it interesting. And I make you want to know more about how you could be, so passionate about just cutting grass and just using this equipment. I'm using the best equipment in the world. So, I mean, with just by saying that, it means a lot because I know this equipment is utilized.
I mean, after what happened at the people's house, I'm wondering how it was financed. I hate to say that because I'm not typically in folk pockets, but it just makes me think like, okay, you're using the best equipment in the world, but what does it matter when you're doing stupid stuff?
That's around 50 states, so for me to be a Black man, an entrepreneur, and to go through adversity that I've been through in my life, I'm proud to be, passionate about what I do.
You should be. And I think it's really cool too. It's family business. Yes. You work with your brother and your father. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us a little bit about that and how you got the bug to, we were talking the other day in a pre-interview and you were telling me about how you really got introduced to landscaping at a very early age. And then when you were freed from your incarceration, that you were able to go back to this as an actual career. Tell us about that, Genesis. And then I want you to talk with us a little bit about what do you want the youth to know about careers in this realm?
Yes, sir. Well, to start off, my dad, he had me and my brother cutting grass.
Okay, I don't even want to listen to all that.
Concerned, my message for them is to, dive into yourself and wanting to work and create a good environment for your family. Because
Okay, if anybody wants to watch this, I'm so
I was
disinterested
playing football.
in.
Now we're openly playing.
I want to hear about the time in jail. Am I wrong for that?
And
I want to
think,
hear.
us creating this platform for them is going to definitely help because it's positive. That's why I have the same mentality that I was speaking about earlier with the football.
Remember the guy? Any of you guys who are in New York? Do you guys remember the guy who was on the Joe Rogan show? He's an ex-con. He was like coaching and mentoring ex-cons. And I don't know what happened, but he fell out with someone at his apartment building. And baby, they found the guy cut up in his apartment. Do you guys remember that? And he was leaving with like trash bags and clothes. And there were some remnants of the man left in the apartment building. This happened this happened like a year ago. Let me look it up. But it's like, all I think about is like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, sir, and I'm not one of these people who doesn't feel like people deserve a second chance, but I don't know if I'm giving out second chances. Like when you need a second chance with me, I almost feel like you're chanced out. Hold on a second. Let me see. Bronx man who I don't know if he was a roommate. So let me see, man. Accused. Let me see. Was this him? He looked like a real. Was it Sheldon Johnson? Hold on. Tenant of the apartment. He came in and never came out. Girl, yes. Okay, that was it. Sheldon. Hold on. Let me find. I don't even know if they've had his trial. No. Police responded to make a welfare call on Orlando Medina. People responded to welfare call made by Orlando Medina. Yes, the maintenance guy. Okay, that is him. Girl, Sheldon was a creep. Okay. Sheldon was very creepy and he was over there at the second chance type situation. He was over there mentoring to people at risk or going to prison, some nonsense. And he was over there, girl, dismembering a neighbor. Okay. It was just like, what is going on? So yeah, no second chances. No. The man, the son of the family members, he needs to get this guy as far away from his parents as possible. That would be a no-go. Girl, look at the pictures. Hold on a second. This guy right here. Do you imagine? Look at how he's looking at everybody. He looks so freaking creepy. This guy. Formerly incarcerated advocate for New York criminal justice reform, arrested for murder. He's over there at the Justice League, okay? The man who spent decades in prison before starting a new chapter as a high-profile advocate for criminal justice reform has been arrested and charged with the brutal murder and dismemberment of a Bronx man. Sheldon, 48, arrested and charged with murder, manslaughter, criminal possession of a weapon, concealment of human corpse on Thursday, according to New York Police Department. Girl, we don't. Okay. Oh. Girl, look at him. Creep factor on 10,000. Police were called to the small apartment after the neighbors overheard gunshots coming from the inside on Tuesday. This was sometime last year. This was March 8th, 2024. Girl, a mess. This, just like I was saying, since his release, Johnson has been a public voice for rehabilitation after incarceration. He was a public voice for rehabilitation after incarceration. Last month, he appeared on the Joe Rogan's popular podcast where he detailed his journey through the criminal justice system. He described himself as formerly the top of the food chain in the Bloods. 1999, Johnson was convicted of a homicide, robbery. So he killed once and then he killed again. Robbery and several other charges, according to the court records. He was incarcerated in 1999. Okay. What did we see this week? Ronnie. And if you have a family member who was formerly incarcerated and they are good and they're happy, they're productive, they're not doing shit, don't pay attention to me. I am not an authority. Okay. I just do this mom podcast where we talk about crime and shenanigans. Okay. I am not an authority. Okay. So if you have a different experience with a formerly incarcerated person, very good. And if you want to share it, let me know and we can talk about it. My opinions are not etched in stone, but I have seen far too many people who say that they deserve a second chance and they're given 3, 4, 5, and 10 chances and they continue to let people down. Okay. Yes, a mess. We did cover it here. There's a video on it. Maybe it was just one because it was a little bit gruesome and you guys were like, oh my God, Fran, I cannot. So we did not. I covered it one time and we moved on. Yeah, I remember he was on Joe Rogan and everything. His case might be coming up. I don't know what's going on with it, but it might be coming up. I don't want to say too much until tomorrow. So I will tell you guys tomorrow. Glad to be part. Okay. Did I click on everybody's milestone? Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. Yes, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm trying because saying too much is saying too much. There's another story. I'm trying to find pictures. I thought this story was really interesting. Let me tell you guys about this. So there was a Bronx woman, since we're talking about New York. Let me tell you about this real quick. I was on Southern District of New York yesterday, and I happened to read this press release, and they were talking about this Bronx woman who was sentenced to 63 months in prison for laundering over $2 million for African romance scammer. And I was like, what? Now, I think there's more details that are not in this write-up, but basically, let me see. Jay Clayton, the United States Attorney, Southern District, announced Tuesday that Nadine Jasmine Wade, I was trying to find a picture of her, was sentenced to 63 months in prison for laundering $2 million in proceeds acquired from victims of romance fraud schemes. Wade's sentence was imposed by the U.S. District Judge Catherine Polk Thalia, who presided over the 2-week trial at which Wade was convicted of money laundering and bank fraud charges. Nadine Wade uses lies and deception to launder over $2 million for scam artists in Nigeria and South Africa, said U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton. Those funds were stolen from our vulnerable elderly men and women as part of a cruel romance scam. Today's sentence should be a reminder that this office will pursue all persons who participate in online scams targeting the elderly. According to the indictment, statements made in public court proceedings and filings and the evidence at trial from in or about 2016 through 2021, co-conspirators of Wade, based in Nigeria and South Africa, committed a series of romance scams against individuals located in the U.S. Those co-conspirators used aliases including Diego Francisco and Richard Francisco, also Francisco alias, to meet victims of various dating websites. After engaging in romantic conversations with the victims via phone, text, and email, those co-conspirators posing as Francisco alias asked victims for money. The Francisco alias then instructed the victims to transfer funds to bank accounts controlled by Wade and others. Wade received fraud proceeds from victims of the Francisco alias in personal bank accounts and business accounts for her shell company Royal Treasure Chest LLC, a company purportedly involved in, among other things, the sale of women's clothing and accessories. Once Wade received fraud funds, she rapidly depleted her bank account of those funds through cash withdrawals, cashier's checks, and purchase of vehicles and other means. After taking her own cut of the money, Wade would transfer the bulk of the funds to other members of the scheme. From in or about 2016 through 2021, Wade controlled more than 18 bank accounts and had deposited totally over $2 million. From those deposits consisted of wire transfers, and checks and cash deposits from US-based individuals who were victims of the romance fraud scams described above. In addition to the prison term, Wade, 30, do you imagine, of the Bronx, New York, was sentenced to 3 years of supervised release in order to pay restitution in the amount of $1,772. Oh, excuse me, $1,772,618 and forfeit $2,261,791. Can you believe that? Mr. Clayton praised the outstanding work of the U.S. Secret Service and the Internal Revenue Service criminal investigation. This case is being handled by the office's General Crimes Unit. Assistant U.S. Attorney Micah Ferguson, Matthew King, and Dina McLeod are in charge of the prosecution with assistance of a paralegal specialist, Jada Foote. Okay. I was like, damn. I searched all over the place. I could not find a picture of this woman. I couldn't find her on Facebook. I didn't see anybody talking about it. I need to check TikTok. Maybe TikTok could be all over it for all I know. I did not have it. There was one other story I wanted to show you guys. But I don't think I tagged it. This was a bad story. Do you guys want to see we'll mix one bad story, one scam story. This is a bad one and then a good one for you guys. Okay. This is terrible, but this one is bad, but this is confirmation of some things that we watched. Okay. So this guy is a major league baseball player. He is in the Dominican Republic. He was not doing his dirt here in the States, as far as we know, but he got suspended from Major League Baseball in, I think, 2021, and he was arrested in the Dominican Republic. Y'all, he was having a relationship with a 14-year-old. Paying for money and favors to her mother. The mother was convicted as well. Catch this. Clearly, he's not coming back to the United States. He's going to be serving a prison sentence.
Professional baseball player Wander Franco was found guilty of sexually abusing a minor and given a 2-year suspended prison sentence. A Dominican court ruled on Thursday. The 24-year-old was also fined, but will avoid jail time if he meets certain conditions.
That's if he meets certain conditions, but he could spend, it's crazy. It's crazy. He could spend time, but now it's suspended now, but I don't know. Let's see what's going to happen.
Guilty of sexually abusing a minor and given a 2-year suspended prison sentence. A Dominican
This is sad.
court ruled on Thursday. The 24-year-old was also fined, but will avoid jail time if he meets certain conditions laid out by a judge. Franco, once a star shortstop from Major League Baseball's Tampa Bay Rays, was accused of having a relationship with a 14-year-old girl, allegedly with her mother's consent. Prosecutors said the acts happened in the Dominican Republic and involved payments and travel, amounting to exploitation. The victim's mother was also convicted on Thursday and sentenced to 10 years in prison and fined. Prosecutors Jose Martinez said they proved the
Okay, so do you think that that's fair that the mother got 10 years and Mr. Franco is getting a 2-year suspended sentence? Is that not crazy? How is that and maybe because she was exploiting, almost like she's basically pimping her kid, but he was buying it, right? He was buying the access to the baby, to the 14-year-old, right? She got 10 years, she got 10, he got 2 suspended.
victim's mother laundered money and exploited her daughter's vulnerability. Franco had been under investigation since August 2023 and was placed on administrative leave by Major League Baseball. Once considered one of baseball's top young prospects, he signed an 11-year, $182 million contract extension with the Rays in 2021. He has not played in the major leagues since being placed on leave.
After spending 27 years, nearly 30 years in prison.
This is going to be a story that I know Sonia is going to talk about. Hold on one second. This one is kind of crazy, but he did go for a plea deal, and then this is what happened. His sister became a lawyer while he was incarcerated. So,
Prison. Benjamin Cole got his first haircut from a barber today and had breakfast while sitting across from his mother. Good evening and welcome to the Fox 8 6 o'clock news. I'm Neil McNeil.
I'm Katie Nordine. Yesterday, Cole walked out of the Guilford County Courthouse with his family after he was convicted of the murder of Calvin Jenkins back in 1998, and the judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. That is until the Duke Wrongful Conviction Clinic took a deeper look into his case. Fox 8's Gretchen Stinger spoke to Cole's sister and the attorney leading these efforts to free him. So, Gretchen, what led to his freedom?
Yeah, Cole agreed to an Alford plea, which means that he can maintain his innocence while also accepting punishment. Now, this will go on his record. But regardless, yesterday, for the first time in 27 years, he hugged his mom.
Wasn't until I knew, like, the second I can feel him, I can touch him, that's when it became a reality for me.
For the first time in 27 years, Benjamin Cole embraced his family.
And my brother survived this because of my mom's prayers. Even when he stopped calling, even when he stopped writing.
A jury convicted him of the murder of Calvin Jenkins back in 1998 at the age of 20, and the judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. Someone shot Jenkins in his apartment on East Wendover Avenue in Greensboro during what police said at the time was a robbery. But Cole always maintained his innocence, saying he was in Ohio when it happened.
It was brought out in court that the prosecutor at the time that prosecuted my brother withheld Brady evidence. Specifically, it was a receipt from the studio that showed that he had paid for studio time the day of the shooting. There's no way that my brother could have been in Ohio and come to North Carolina and went back to Ohio.
Cole's sister, Brittany Butler, was just 9 years old when he went away. And since then, she's dedicated her life to be his biggest advocate, going as far as getting a law degree.
I was sitting for the bar in 2020. And, that's during COVID. And so, we were at home. And throughout my life, I've written so many letters on behalf of my brother. One of them being Professor Lau, Attorney Lau, at Duke. And while I was studying, I got an email back from him. When I got that email, I literally fell out in tears.
It was attorney Jamie Lau with the Duke Wrongful Convictions Clinic who started this process and saw it through.
There's no evidence in this case connecting Mr. Cole to the crime. The two witnesses who testified at his trial, they both came and testified in May about how he could not possibly have been the assailant. And one of them, in fact, had told that to the prosecutor during the course of his original trial. And the prosecutor told her not to worry about it because she had already testified in the case.
Cole's sister tells us the moment he stepped outside, it hit just how long he'd been gone.
He used FaceTime for the first time, and he said he thought it was a video recording. And I said, no, baby, they can talk back to you. Like, they're seeing you in real time. So that was a lot. But I told him, take your time and I'm going to teach you how to use the iPhone.
Since Cole accepted the Alford plea, this will be on his record, but the clinic at Duke has been working to contact Governor Josh Stein to grant him a pardon of innocence. Now, this can take a while, so for now, Cole is just learning what life is like from outside the bars at the prison. In Greensboro, Gretchen Stinger, Fox 8 News.
Okay, I thought that was an interesting story, but he took the Alford plea, so I don't know that he's going to get, how some states will give you a certain amount of money for every year that you were incarcerated wrongly. I don't know how that works. I feel like if you take an Alfred, then there's no restitutions or anything like that given to you. It's unfortunate. I'm happy for the guy. He got out because he's maintained his innocence. But the interesting thing is that his sister became a lawyer in the process and helped get him free, which I thought was pretty amazing. Girl, even back then in 1999, were we paying for things online? Maybe a little bit here and there, but everything was not automated. I guess you could do online shopping, but if he was purchasing studio time, it may have been one of those things where he actually had to go and physically purchase the time versus, being able to do things online now. Is this the lady? Hold on a second. Let's look at this other story, then I'm gonna let y'all go.
She served most of her 4-year sentence, a punishment that outraged supporters who thought the judge was way too harsh. Tonight, WJZ investigator.
I was surprised this lady ended up going to jail. I was shocked.
Investigator Mike Helgren speaks to Shantira Young from the halfway house she is staying at. And Mike, you are live with the exclusive that everyone has been waiting to see tonight.
Well, Rick, she was gracious, happy to talk to us. That halfway house where she's at right now is in Washington, D.C. She got there on Tuesday and expects to be in some sort of home confinement through December, but is looking forward to eventually rebuilding her life here in Maryland. Shantira Young is almost free after being in custody since July 2022 when she shot her then husband, former Baltimore City police officer James Weems, after confronting him over allegations he'd been abusing children at her daycare, Little Kids Castle in Owings Mills. What do you want people to know?
One of the things I really want to say is I thank everybody for the support that they have given me. It has really helped me get through my prison sentence, and I'm just really thankful for that. I'm glad to be out and at the halfway house, and I'm just looking forward to rebuilding and giving back to the community like I was before.
She testified against her ex-husband, who was convicted of rape and sexual abuse last year and sentenced to life in prison. Prosecutors built their case around a 10-year-old girl he abused inside the daycare's van.
You would think that once they sent him away for life, they found evidence to support not only a guilty but a life sentence, that the doors of the jail would have opened for her, because I would think it's not just like, look, I guess however you feel about gun laws, but I would imagine she shot him. It could have been a life or death situation where she either needed to shoot him to protect herself, or it was some sort of fit of rage, to find out what he was doing to the children that are entrusted to you. Like, whatever it was, I cannot even imagine.
The one thing I think that we need to know is that sexual abuse is not okay with children. A lot of times in the past, it has been covered up, and it's good that it's getting some type of notoriety to it so that we can stop it. We can help children and not accept this, especially from somebody who we all thought should have been protecting children and protecting the community at one point.
A judge in D.C., where the shooting occurred, sentenced Young to 4 years in prison, double what prosecutors requested. People around the world.
So the judge must have been, I don't know, if the prosecutor asked for 2 and they gave her 4, why? Like, why was the judge annoyed, pissed, not trying to, why did the judge feel the need to give her double what the prosecutors asked for? That's crazy.
And here in Maryland expressed outrage at a punishment they believed was too harsh. Did you feel the support? Did you get those messages?
Absolutely. A lot of people wrote to me, and, I was able to contact with a lot of people. I definitely felt the support. And I think the support is what kept me sane in prison.
Anything you want to say to the community and those supporters who love you so much and who stood up for you throughout this?
I would just say thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of them. I'm definitely glad that the justice system saw what happened and he was sentenced to what he got, and that everybody can start trying to rebuild and move on.
She says she has hope as far as rebuilding her life. She's not sure when she's getting out of that halfway house, but she is meeting with her agent today or tomorrow, so she should have some more clarity. She is just happy to be out.
I know
prison.
that's right. I know
Reporting
she
live in your
is.
corner in Baltimore, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Okay.
Mike, excellent.
Well, good. I mean, that's some good news. So, and honestly, not that prison was a good place for it, but I can only imagine the trauma she went through. I don't know how long she was with that man, but just finding out that the person that you're with is not the person that you're with. You know what I mean? Just that whole departure from, you did what? And she, you know what I'm saying? She might have a real testimony for us about, having only have that time to deal with that particular issue. So, I mean, I feel like they did sentence her absolutely to a crazy sentence, but she made it. She's out. She will be, able to make all of her own decisions sooner than later. And Sir is gone. I'm sure with her now having a criminal background, she's going to probably have to serve the community in a different way. But I'm happy for her nonetheless. I mean, it's kind of a sad story, but with a happy ending, at least for her. She's getting out, and hopefully the children who were affected are getting the therapy and support that they need. It's just a lot, y'all. There's so much going on out here. It's absolutely crazy. Anyway, guys, if anything else pops off, I will come back a little bit later. I just wanted to come early to see what you guys were doing, share some of these stories with you guys, share what I've been watching. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Jackson. Yeah, I think she snapped. I wonder, are the gun laws, anybody in Maryland here, are the gun laws very strict? Because like here, you can have a gun. Like it's not, you can carry, you can do all of the things. I just know in other states, the more you go up north, it's very strict. So I'm just wondering if maybe she had a gun. She wasn't supposed to have a gun. Did she use her husband's gun? I may look a little bit more into this story to understand what the problem was, because it's open carry here in Maryland. So I'm wondering, did she take her husband's gun? Was the gun not registered to her? Like, why did she get 4 years? Especially when that man was violating the children at her business. That's crazy. I mean, in a way, she was protecting the children. Not only did, I mean, as a husband, as a creep, as a criminal, as a police officer, all of the things that he was betraying, um, certainly it seemed like it should be a crime of passion. But I'm just wondering, like, why did she get 4 years? No, I don't think she should have gone to jail either. I'm going to be honest. Um, Maybe they were holding her feet to the fire for something. That's why I'm like, why did she get 4 years? Because certainly the circumstances revolving around the shooting shouldn't have been it. Was it something? I'm wondering if it was the possession of the gun, if there wasn't something legal about the gun. Did she use her husband's service revolver? Like what did they get her on and why? She went to the hotel that he was at and shot him. Oh, so they're giving like a premeditated kind of manslaughterish type thing. Maybe her, let me see. What's her? Let me pull up her name and see what the actual oh, let me look up her name. Uh, let me see. What was he doing over at the hotel? Let's see. So she was convicted of aggravated assault and illegal firearm possession November 2022. These charges stemmed from an incident July 22nd where she shot her then husband, James Weems Jr., at a hotel in Washington, D.C. Young had confronted him after learning of the allegations that he was sexually abusing children from her daycare facility. Specifically, she was charged with possession of a firearm during crime of violence, aggravated assault while armed, carrying a pistol without a license, without outside of a home or office, and resisting arrest. She pled guilty to aggravated assault and carrying a pistol without a license November 22nd. She was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Her sentence was considered harsh by some as it was double what the prosecutors initially requested. Shantiri Young has recently been released from prison and is residing in a halfway house in Washington, D.C. She is expected to be under home confinement until the sentence officially ends in December 2025. Young's ex-husband, James, was later convicted of multiple, oh God, hold on. Girl, why did I click that? Convicted of multiple counts of child sex abuse at a daycare and is serving a life sentence. Young testified against him during the trial. Well, good. Okay. Interesting, right? Yes. You know, they don't play about those gun charges. Gun charges, it seems like maybe, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but it does seem like gunplay If you're out with the play with a gun and a crime is committed, a felony or whatever the case might be, they're going to give you, or maybe it's a mandatory sentencing or something. I'm not sure. But if she was, it was those gun charges that got her, I'm sure. Let's see. The DOJ says Baltimore woman sentenced to 48 months in prison for shooting her husband at a DC hotel. Were they Fed charges? Because it's written up on the there's a DOJ press release about it in 2023. So I wonder if it was federal because it happened in the confines of DC. Is that what it was? Washington, D.C., Shakiri Wims of Baltimore, 50 at the time, sentenced to 60 months in prison, execution of a sentence suspended for 48 months, and aggravated assault, July 21, 2022, shooting her husband at the Salamander, previously known as the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. Wims pled guilty November of 2022. Search warrant obtained and executed the hotel room. Inside, officers found Weems' firearm in her purse. She had her husband's firearm in her purse and a note written by Weems evidencing her intent to shoot him and announcing the sentence. Okay. According to the government's evidence, July 21, 2022, Weems drove down to the district from Baltimore. She confronted her husband at the hotel regarding allegations that the victim had been molesting children at the defendant's daycare. The defendant shot him in the neck and the left leg, shattering the victim's femur. After shooting the victim, Weems barricaded the hotel room by placing her back against the door, preventing officers from coming inside. After approximately 25 minutes, officers forced entry and apprehended the defendant. Search warrants were obtained and executed the hotel room. Inside, officers found Weems' firearm in her purse. Okay. Girl, drama. That's why he was limping. Girl, she blasted his leg. Good, he deserved it. And if he's got arthritis, if his leg just still isn't right, oh well. That's going to be his that's his trophy for his shenanigans of why his wife shot him, and he's in jail for life. Anyway, you guys, we'll talk a little bit later. If you've got something for me, let me know. I did put up a poll. I put up a poll about Diddy. I put up a poll about Diddy's mom and her looks. You guys, if you know, Miss Janice's looks are 85 years old. It was kind of a joke. So, I mean, I don't really love Miss Janice's looks. I think Miss Janice I think she's funny when she shows up to the court. I love seeing the wigs, but trust me, it is a mess. It's definitely a mess. So, right now, let me show you guys what look is winning. It's either you could take it one way or the other. It's either she's winning or losing. Ma'am is 85, y'all. The fact that she gets up and goes and sits in that courtroom is amazing. She is 85 and she has not met a blonde wig she does not like. Okay. So far, I thought the funniest look was her in that red, the red cape. The red cape with the mushroom. And then, okay, so look number one is what people seem to like. Option number one, option number two. Let's see. So number one is option number one. The number two look is option 4, and then option 3 and option 2. You guys are so funny. Anyway, keep voting. Also, Diddy, according to you guys, we've only got 262 votes so far. 262 votes, baby. 64% say he's going to be guilty. So we're going to see. Let me tell you something. Bougie gang votes typically are very spot on. It's if that's what you guys are saying, that might be it. I don't know. I mean, normally when we voted out on things, you guys are typically spot on. So make sure to vote. I'm going to drop the link. Make sure go over to my community wall. Let's see. If you haven't voted yet, you're on the replay. Vote. If you haven't voted yet and you're on the replay, I need to check some of these other polls that we've had sitting for a while. Oh, the Nesto poll. Let's talk about this real quick. In Nesto's recent call, what's going on? These are the options. More aware of Sonia's. Okay, can we talk about this for a minute since we're already gone over 2 hours? Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Now, if you have phone calls from prison's membership, you guys heard this phone call. If you don't have it, well, maybe they'll put it out. I don't know. But it was a series of calls that happened this week. Now, what was interesting about it? First of all, Sonia is a fucking dingbat. Is Fleur de Lis still here? Vicky, you still here, boo-boo? So the call opens up. I wanted to talk about this. Maybe I should close this one down and do another live, and we can talk about this for a minute. Because I feel like this is gonna go long. Not long with this conversation, but long as in talking about this particular call. Let me close this down. We're gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna play the call because it's in their membership, but we can definitely talk about it. Give me just a minute. I'm gonna shut this down and come right back, and we're gonna do like a quick little 20-30 minutes and talk about it. I'm sure most of you guys saw it because most of you guys have phone calls from prison. Sunday dinner is in a few hours. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll see you guys. Give me just a minute. Give me 5 minutes and I'm gonna shut this down because I don't want to get into all of that and then make this 2.5 hours. So okay, you guys, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, well, we're gonna talk about the call. Don't worry about it. Or go get it. I mean, I think their membership is $4.99. Whatever is most comfortable. Okay. All right, I'll be right back.